Another episode, man. Spit some knowledge to y'all today, man. What's going on, man? Hey, what's the deal? You live in tune with the Successor, man. Hustle Logic TV, man. It's another episode today. Today, man, I'm getting back in tune with y'all, man. Getting y'all that game, that knowledge, that wisdom. Spitting some real esoteric information for y'all, man. For the ones that really need to hear it, that really need it, man. If you know, you know. So hopefully my camera angle looking good, man. You see I'm doing all different types of things with the camera. So hopefully everything is looking right for us. I'm looking good, smelling good, feeling fly. Hey, look good, you feel good, man. You perform better. So we're gonna get right into it, man. I gonna spend a lot of time on too much of the intro, man. Y'all know what's going on. Before this video starts, man, please do a brother a solid, man. Like I said, like, share, comment, leave some comments down, man. Interact with your boy, man. I know it's a few y'all out there that's really been holding down, being real dedicated. If you've been rocking with me since a game changer, man, drop that down in the chat right now, man. Let me know you've been here and you showing love and support, man. And you picking up some information, some knowledge, man. Some of y'all been, hey, you see what's going on, man. I've been having a lot more phone calls, man. The phone been ringing a little bit more, so I appreciate what y'all out there doing, man. I'm getting a lot more comments. People stop me out when I'm about things like that, so really appreciate y'all that is showing love and support. But let the other people know, hey, y'all here, man. We all family. What's up, man? What's up? And get in the hustle chat, man. Get in the hustle chat and interact. You know what I'm saying? You can ask questions in there. You can, I go over different things. I drop daily meditation messages, word of the day, you name it, different ETFs and stocks and things that I'm getting into that I'm liking. Just a whole bunch of stuff, man. I actually got a call this Sunday. So by the time this video drops, the call actually probably be going live, but I will be posting that on my story, whatever, if there's a flyer being made. But you know what I'm saying? I'm gonna drop it in the chat. Like, people in the hustle chat, y'all get access to that type of stuff before other people do. My product, I dropped my first product in the hustle chat free. You know what I'm saying? That's a charge for anybody else. But get in the hustle chat, man, them the kind of benefits and rewards. If you liking what you're hearing right here, imagine what you get over there when I spend a little bit more time, you know what I'm saying? But hey, today I just want to be going over, hitting some more questions, man. That those videos were getting a lot of interaction, started a lot of conversation amongst other people. So I want to get back into doing the questions and turning some of those and doing so much more, you know what I'm saying? Every question I can just break down into so many 2-hour-long segments and get so deep into the information. But some of these, man, hey, it's some real good stuff. I'm gonna touch on. I'm gonna rapid fire on some of them. Other ones I'm gonna go more in depth on. So I got a bunch of questions, man. I just like to stack up on the questions and keep a bunch of them ready to go for when we're doing things like this. So today what we got is, let's go with, all right, here we go. This is a good one right here. So, why is comfort the enemy of growth? Why is comfort? Oh, man, we're starting deep already. Why is comfort the enemy of growth? Comfort, if you're not growing or changing or evolving, then you're dying. Something's not growing, it's dying. Straight up. So in your comfort zone, a lot of times we're not willing to be uncomfortable, meaning we're not willing to change, flex on ourselves, test our skill sets, willing to be tested. So being comfortable, it's really a hazard. It's really a hazard. People always say, I just want enough money oh man, you hear that so much. I just want enough money to be comfortable. I just want enough money to be comfortable and do X, Y, and Z. But you see how hard it is just to be comfortable, and all actuality, it's like you'll never be that way, because the moment you stop working towards something, stop pursuing a goal and get comfortable, you immediately start dying. You immediately start losing. A person that was comfortable and rich in the 1950s, had they sat and been comfortable into the year 2000, they're probably broke now. So you have to be willing to continue to be uncomfortable, find new ways to make a new set of money, make a new $1 million, make $100,000, whatever. But being comfortable, man, it is such a bad zone to be in, because you'll get lazy. You'll find yourself wanting to cut corners, sleep in a little bit more, and you'll slowly start to forget man, what I did to even get me to this point caused me to be uncomfortable. It caused me to live a life of unbalance. It caused me to be able to shift at the on a dime. Tough times cause for a challenging pivot. Do you know how? Okay. And when you are in comfort zone, you're losing those abilities. We all have them. We all have them. Everybody's got potential. Everybody has these qualities. You just have not discovered certain ones of these qualities about yourself. So you have to be willing to stay uncomfortable. When you get in that comfort zone, most of us, a lot of people, y'all are there now. I was there at some point. I'm no longer there. I know when I'm comfortable. Some of y'all have been comfortable for so long. It's just like, hey, I'm chilling. This is how life's supposed to be. No. And the moment you get uncomfortable, you're almost scared. You go back into your little hole. You go back into your lifestyle. You go back to your little old ways. You let the vices control you again. But being uncomfortable, look, I know that I can break my vices at any time. I know that my mindset, my way of living, my principles, my way of being is much stronger than what the world is trying to hold me from. Because, man, to get into great levels and reach great heights, you're going to be tested. You ever took a test and you get that uncomfortable feeling like, even if you study, it's just kind of like you looking for a curveball or like something, just it feel kind of uneasy. Just, I can't really explain it, you know what I'm saying? Like, but that's a real thing, man. The test of life is the same way. It's the same way. People that didn't study for the test didn't give a damn about the test. They just circle this. They accepted that they didn't study, that they were gonna fail. It was cool for them. Those people were the funniest people to me. They come in, put down whatever they putting down, turn the test in, and go right back to sleep. The rest of us, I'm over there sweating like, man, I kind of study for this one. I think I know what I'm doing. And the ones that I know I didn't study for, I still want to try my best. And just not throwing the towel. So I've always been that way about myself in life, willing to do the uncomfortable things and, try something at least. Man, other people out there, look, gotta cut the vices, man. Again, it's easy to get comfortable when you've achieved something too. Let me kind of put it like this. You hit a target, celebrate for a little bit, or even let's just start. This is the easiest one. The end of the year, man. The last 90 days of the year, man, you're really supposed to be going the hardest, but it's so easy to get comfortable because you got holiday after holiday. You get your winter break. You got the new year coming in. Then you get into the new year, you know what I'm saying? You really kind of like, all right, I got a couple goals. You kind of charged up, but you really drained because you're financially, most people are trying to recover from the holidays. So you're just dealing with so much. You drain and tire yourself out. You're like, man, it's much better to just go back in this hole, be comfortable, when really that's the time to be the most uncomfortable. Make some of those sacrifices. Do what you got to do. Save some of that money. Cut out on some of the holiday things that you're doing. Don't celebrate the new year going out of town and spending a bunch of money. Use that time to not be comfortable. Maybe rest up. Start reassuring yourself, building your confidence, getting into different things and being excited about the year, and then running right through it. And you'll take yourself a lot further, because when you get stuck in those comfort ways, man, if you never had to pull yourself out of that before, or been shown how to pull yourself out of those times before, you won't know how to identify when you are in those ways. Hopefully that makes sense to y'all. What I mean, somebody like me, I can see, hey, I'm feeling sluggish. I'm not writing down, filling my calendar out the same way. Okay, on this day, I didn't write all my goals down and list the things that I wanted to do. I started missing things here. All right, I'm getting kind of behind on this. I was supposed to be reading my book, but hey, I end up falling asleep. I need to reset. All right, let's cut the vices. Watching a little too much TV, spend a little too much time on the phone. Okay, a little too much time. Maybe trying to push the business or market the business. I need to spend a little time building resources. I need to spend a little more time building into myself. A lot of times, man, if I am taking away from and stepping back from something, it's so that I can personally develop and better on myself, get uncomfortable with myself first, and then bring that uncomfortability out into the world and show you guys, look, I can be uncomfortable in front of you guys as well too. It's not easy being in front of this camera and stating what I know and comprehending that and breaking that down in such a esoteric way for people to understand. It requires a lot of uncomfortability, but I push myself and I push myself and I push myself to where it becomes second nature. It becomes a conscious competence. You know what I'm saying? I'm willing to do it and pick up on it like I'm tying my shoe. And when that becomes a comfort level, now it's time for me to get uncomfortable. Let me try to do this a different way now. Let me see what it's like to get into a production. Let me take it to studio levels. Let me get a live audience in front of me. Let me start speaking in front of hundreds of thousands of people at a time. What do I need to do to continue to be uncomfortable so that I'm willing to stretch myself? When you're uncomfortable and you're stretching yourself, it's like that muscle, man, that bicep. Man, I love the theory of work, in the thought of working out, because you know that when you're ripping the muscle and stretching the muscle, they're tearing each other, but they're building themselves stronger. They're gonna come back both. I'm gonna be more ripped. I'm gonna be more shredded. Same with my game. Same with my knowledge, my ideology, my vernacular, all of those things. My craftsmanship. I'm putting reps in on the job when I'm, within my career. Man, I've had to cut and solder pipe several hundreds of times, thousands of times. And it's like, man, it's a repetitive thing, but it's because it's becoming a natural, it's becoming a part of me. I have to develop that and work on that, and I have to be willing to be uncomfortable. I did tons of small pipes so that I could work on bigger pipes. It was uncomfortable, but I had to learn and prepare for that. So, hey, that's really what it is, man. You got to be willing to stretch yourself, man. The small things get you better, get you ready for the bigger things. When you've accomplished that small thing, a lot of us have, we have some sort of accomplishment. We've done some sort of small things in life, but that was it. After you accomplish that one small thing, you never continued to grow and up your weight class. You never decided to dominate on a higher level. Yes, you were good in JV, but you never played varsity. You were never a dog on varsity. So it's like, okay, but maybe you was a dog on varsity, but you never played college. There's levels to this, man. There's levels to this, and your comfort level, man, will really be the lid or the ceiling to your success. You choose what you want to do with that. So, but let's move forward. Let's move forward. And I can go very deep on what you need to do to break your comfort zone. You get in the hustle chat. You know what I'm saying? Book a call. If that's something I know most of y'all are dealing with, most people that are watching this, most people in the world are dealing with being on that comfort level, uncomfortable. It's like the seasons, man. People are like, you change like the seasons. I like people that change and evolve around me. I'm not gonna lie. I like people that are doing more. I don't care to be around a lot of people that I was close to, and a lot of my friends that are not evolving and doing more. Every year it's the same thing. Every season you're doing the same deal. It's like, hey man, what are we doing this season? What are we doing differently next season? And what are we planning on doing differently next year, in the next 5-10 years? The conversation's got to change. So again, I can go deep on that. I can go real deep on that, man. That's a good topic. That was a great question. Appreciate you for dropping that one. Okay, what does standing on your word mean? And why does discipline equal freedom? Standing on your word means if you say something, you're going to do it. I'm not going to go much further on that. Being 100, you say you're going to do something, you got to be about it. If you you a little hesitant to do it, then don't say it. It's that simple. You know what I'm saying? So standing on your word, it's that simple, man. Being 10 toes. You say you're going to do something, you're going to be something, you got to go out and achieve it. You say, hey, I'm going to be a millionaire. I ain't going to work. I'm going to be successful. I'm going to be a professional athlete. I'm going to be a successful person. I'm going to leave a legacy. All right, you stated it. Now go do it, man. The power of the tongue is very real. It's very real. When you say things like that, and you might just kind of think it's a joke, like, man, I hope this test is easy, or man, I hope this, when you say little things like that, your subconscious hears that and feels that, and that feeling creates a reaction in your brain, and your brain doesn't know at the time, because of how you feel, if it is reality or if it's finite, or infinite, if it's reality or if it's infinite thinking, so at the time you have to just keep reinforcing yourself to make it your reality, your conscious thinking. All right, even though it's going through your subconscious, keep saying it to yourself so that it is a conscious thought and mindset. Okay, so now why does discipline equal freedom? Discipline equals freedom because when you have self-discipline, you know that nothing can come in and interfere or break you and take you away from your principles, your routine, your environment. Discipline is one of the hardest things to obtain. You know, in the book Think and Grow Rich, Napoleon Hill talks about having that burning desire. Well, your burning desire, you have to have your burning desire because that's going to keep the fire burning to your discipline. Okay. And I'm going to speak a little bit more on that. What I mean by that is by having a burning desire, when you start to get into a routine of things and you're disciplined to these things, and when you feel like when the motivation has ran out, motivation and discipline are two different things. When the motivation has ran out and you are just stuck on your discipline, you are going to start to wonder, why am I really doing this? Okay, when you wake up in the morning, I'm too tired, I need to snooze. You know, you're not tired or that you need to hit the snooze. You just need a better reason to get up. So your burning desire is your reason to get up. Because you have your reason to get up, that is going to stick to you getting up at the same time. It correlates with your discipline. It correlates with your discipline. Because you got up at the same time, you're going to start your same routine. Because you know this routine is effective and it's proven to have given you results. Whether it's from a mentor, whether you have seen this and done this for yourself year after year, time after time, and you've elevated and taken these same routines and results to next and further levels, and you haven't been stagnant in the same place of life. So now we're talking about getting out of comfort, because when you are self-disciplined, when you have a level of discipline, you know, hey, I can't be comfortable because I know how to identify that and I know what that can lead to. Okay, discipline, it opens up your awareness, your observation skills, your people skills. You know, it changes your perspective not only on your life but on everybody else's life. You know, you start looking at the picture from inside of the frame, now outside of the frame. You get a bird's eye view. Everything changes. Your mindset goes from being rational to irrational. You start thinking about things, the most craziest things. You put your back against the wall. What do people do when they're forced with their backs against the wall? You see them people lost. You know, they had to go into survival mode. What are you willing to do? Self-discipline will lead to all of that. You'll know how to identify and put yourself in mentally. Because remember, I just said your mind doesn't really know in some cases when you say things or do things to your subconscious. It doesn't know if it's real or if it's fake. But it just knows that it can create a feeling. By you creating these certain feelings, you're going to create vibrations. Okay, and vibrations they attract things to you. So self-discipline opens up all of that. It opens up all of that, man. But you have to be willing to first identify these things. And discipline is to start with that, man. That burning desire next to that discipline. Those two things go hand in hand. What are you willing to be disciplined to? Some people are disciplined to their religion. Some people are disciplined to their vices. Okay? What are you going to be disciplined to? Are you going to be disciplined to this information? Do you know that, hey, if I just try these things for 30 days straight, my life will look totally different. My perspective, okay, will look totally different. Nothing changes if you don't change it. All right, so be willing to do these things. Take small steps forward, one step forward, 1% every single day. At the end of the year, it's 365 days. So, you know, just be willing to open your mind up. You know, right now is hey, look, if you're looking to start over and get into something new, I'll tell you this, man, right now is the best time to forget everything that you think you know and relearn life again. For real, I had a conversation with an individual the other day, man. He's like about 30 years old. He felt like it was too late to start over. I'm like, man, what? You know how old Jeff Bezos was when he decided to leave $1 million salary to start Amazon, and, you know, then was divorced and, you know, lost about $1 billion and double back and made $3 billion the next year. Like, you know, you got to be willing to start over. That the end is really the beginning. Okay, because when something old ends, something new begins. So I like, and when are you ever most excited, or when do you ever go to hearts? When something new is starting. Man, think about a race. You're going to go your hardest at the very beginning. You're not going to wait till you get 3/4 of the way around the track and then be like, I'm going to give it my all. No, you rarely ever see that happen. You know what I'm saying? So discipline, that's how that's going to lead to your freedom, man. If you can be able to control what you want to control in your life 110% of the way, man, that takes a lot of discipline. It's a big mindset shift. And honestly, I believe, man, I wish we could see, I'm gonna look into that myself. People that are more disciplined, do they use maybe like a little bit more of their brain than other people? Like, have they developed, I get crazy, man. Look, conspiracies. So, all right, that's a good one though, man. Okay, so what we got next is, what is the difference between interest and commitment, and why is pressure a privilege? Okay, what is the difference between interest and commitment? Interest and commitment. Being interested in something and committed to something. So to me, I kind of look at that like, I'm committed to my career. I'm committed to my career path, but I have an interest in my hobbies. You know, to kind of we'll start it off simple. All right, if you committed to something, you know, it means like, this is my bread and butter. This is my everything. This is my main squeeze right here. This is what I'm spending the bulk of my time on. This is what I am grinding for. Everything. Okay, I'm putting most of my eggs in this basket. I'm putting my biggest investment into this one right here. My interest are some things on the side. These are things that just keep me infatuated a little bit, you know, keep me going. When the commitment just getting a little tough, or I need a break, I need to kind of clear my mind, and sometimes be working on something for a long time, you just need to take a step back. That's when I come to my interests. You know, I might go get into my hobbies. I like to fish. I like to be outdoors. I might go to the lake or something. I might read a book. Those are my interests. But I'm committed. I'm committed to my business. I'm committed to making content. I'm committed to making products. I'm committed to helping more people succeed within their lives through the mentorship. I'm committed to my plumbing career. I'm committed to passing and getting the right testing requirements and licensing. I'm committed to pouring more and more into that. Whereas my interest, I'm not looking to be a professional fisher. I'm not putting, 10 hours a day into that, as much as I love and I would like to do that. But your commitment is your purpose, your reason for being here, why you are here to serve. Those things, I have potential in those things. I can be good at those things. I could be great at those things, but they're not my purpose. Okay, they're not quite my purpose. I'm not quite chasing those things. Those are more so maybe my passions. Okay, your interests are maybe your passion, but your purpose, that's what you're meant to do. Some of us, we get that confused, man. You get those two things confused. You put in commitment time into your interests. Okay, you put way too much time into your interests, things that really are not going to serve you on a bigger purpose. All right, so you got to know which is which. Decipher. You get to choose, but what are you committed to? Are you committed to your responsibilities? You spend 100% of your time working towards and putting towards what your responsibilities are, taking care of your household, taking care of your bills, taking care of your family. That's good. There's nothing wrong with that. Going to your job, investing into your business, whatever. That's perfectly fine. Your interest. Don't spend too much. Spend time on your interest. Don't get me, like you said, there's a balance between the two, but don't be committed to those interests. Don't be committed to those interests. Okay. Pressure. Why is pressure a privilege? I mean, y'all know the saying already. Pressure builds diamonds. Pressure builds diamonds. So if, everybody wants to be a diamond. Everybody wants to shine. Everybody wants to be authentic. Everybody wants to shine in their own way, and pressure creates that. Pressure helps that. You ever went somewhere and you feel the pressure if you're competing, doing something, or you go somewhere and maybe you got your best outfit on, or You kind of, maybe you didn't put your best outfit on, you go somewhere and you go somewhere underdressed, I'll put it like that, and everybody else kind of dressed up, you kind of like, you feel a little pressure, like, man, I hope everybody not like looking at me crazy. Or when you got that interview, you know, your hands a little sweaty, kind of rubbing them on your pants, you feel that pressure because you know you're about to be tested. Okay, this is good for you because now it's time to see if you've been doing the work. It's gonna see if it's really time to show up. We don't put the big lights on, you know. People do all this talking, they claim that they're doing these things, but when the lights come on, when they get bright, when you're in front of that camera, how do you perform? What does the world see? Because are you going to be a choke? Remember those guys that be like super good in college basketball, man, get to the league NBA and they like choke. They can't take the pressure, you know. And I ain't trying to throw shots at nobody, or, you know, but I kind of, let me not say that, but somebody else, in my eyes, in my opinion, that like couldn't handle the pressure, Ja Morant, you know, he kind of a good example. Like basketball, came in real big, explosive, did a little too much smack talking. You haven't heard from him since. You know what I'm saying? Memphis Grizzlies ain't doing too much. I think they even talk about trading him. You know, he goes from being like a franchise player, the big guy, but maybe the pants were too big to fill. You know, he couldn't handle the pressure. But other people that can handle the pressure, it's a good test to know if you really are meant to be who you say you are. So pressure is everything, man. Pressure is everything, and it's a privilege to be hit with that kind of pressure and tested that kind of way, because you have to have some sort of audacity, or what's a better word? You have to have some sort of I can't think of the word right now, but you like to be tested in the right way, man. Some sort of stature. It's like, what is it about you that we want to see, man, if it's true or not? Like, man, you know, it's just so much, but pressure it is a great test, man, to really determine and set yourself apart from the others. And when you pass these tests, when you break through that pressure, when you can withstand the pressure and take on more, you're that much stronger, you're that much greater, you're that much better. You know what I'm saying? We're not looking to look down on other people, but we want to be the best versions of ourselves. Well, pressure is going to force you to be the best version of yourself. Think about the best version of yourself right now. And this is like right now, while we think about this, while we're taking this video, and the type of things that person would have to do, or somebody that's making, you know, that is running a successful business or multiple successful businesses and making large amounts of money and bringing in they have a large staffing of people that they have to take care of. That's a lot of pressure. You know, the average person, if you just got thrown in there, they wouldn't know what to do. It'd be too much pressure. That's why most people can't live their life that way. That's why most people can't have these things. You know, there's over 10 million businesses, and, you know, most of them fail every single year, you know, and thousands of them fail, every single year, because a lot of them can't handle that pressure. We look at other people, we're like, how has, again, Jeff Bezos been able to sustain a successful business for all this time? Because he was able to stand a lot of pressure. Why has Elon Musk been able to stay relevant and stay around and have a successful business all this time? Because he can withstand a lot of pressure. You know, so people that can't, hey, you get tested, you fail, you go back. You can better yourself, but hey, you weren't built right. Your foundation is not as strong as you think it is. You need to go back and fill in the gaps, man. Fix the holes, man. So that's all that is, you know. So pressure is everything, though, man. You love, be grateful to be tested, man. Because if you ain't being tested, if you're not being pushed to the limit, man, if you're not pushing to the limit every single day, what are you doing this for? What are you getting out of bed for, man? Make way for the people that want to be here and that want to do something with themselves. You know, I put in my chat today, man, look, when you leave the world, leave it better than you found it. You know, and just what that means is, we come into this world, like, you ever on the job, man, training, when going to people's houses, man, a lot of times you got to think you're dealing with, sometimes you're in people's bathrooms, basements, whatever. And most people just say, like, aren't the cleanest, you know. So not only you dealing with something that's totally just horrifying, you know, like some things that you can draw the line at, but other things is just like, man, this is really messy, it's really junky down here, it's really dirty down here, you know, or in these people's house. But our job when we come in and we do the work is to leave it better than we found it, you know. So we come in and, hey, they might not have cleaned these floors. I was working on something the other day, and man, you could tell they hadn't probably cleaned them floors in I don't know how long. But I'm in there, and lady, hey, she paying good money for the work. So it's like, hey, look, I'm gonna make sure that when you have another issue, you think of us and you want to spend your money with us again because of the way that we treat your home with professionalism, the craftsmanship behind the work being done. But not only we took it a step further and we cleaned up after ourselves, not leaving you with the mess or anything to deal with. Long story short, though, man, real nice lady, but hey, look, I'm gonna do you a favor. Let me just wipe down the floor a little extra more. She comes in, she sees the new fixture that I put in her bathroom. She don't got to look at that on a dirty floor. People appreciate the little things. So when you come into the world, man, we're here now. Put a little polish on it, man. Whatever it is that you into, that you do, whoever it is that you hang around, what is your character, man? Your integrity, what does that look like? Put a little polish on it, man. Put a little polish on it, man. That way, when it's all said and gone, wherever you were standing or wherever you took the throne at, it's a little bit cleaner than when you first got there. All right, it's a little bit cleaner. Okay. But this last one we got is, what does embrace being the standard mean? Okay, what does embrace being the standard? Being the standard. You got to be the standard that you want to be and see in your life. Okay, straight up, you got to be that example that you want to be and see in your life. What did I say yesterday? Let me go into this real quick. I don't think I can get into it. Be the standard that you want to see in life. So if you expect, nothing but the best, well, you have to act and move as such. Okay. Remember, vibrations attract things. Okay. You want to attract things to you. We're not out here chasing things anymore. We're not out here chasing things anymore. We attract them because we understand paradigm shift, vibrations. Now that's a very deep subject, man. Shout out to Bob Proctor, a mentor of mine that I had. I learned paradigm shift, and man, he speaks very highly on that. And by thinking of things that will determine how you obtain them. Okay, it's not so much just about going out here and working and doing these things. Man, it takes a lot of work, man. That's real hard. We want to work smarter, not harder. So let's go back to that. Being the standard, okay? Being the standard in your life, you first got to set standards, principles, guidelines, things that you live by, okay? And these stem from things that you learn and what is the word I'm looking for? And things that you've gone through. Okay, life experiences. That's what I'm thinking of. Life experiences that you've gone through at this point. Okay, so let me put it in the perspective of like a young man. Let's say you ain't got let me change it up a little bit. Let's say you ain't got no standards. You a young guy, man. You 19, 20, 21, 22. At that age, I didn't have too many standards for myself. I was young. I was just out here getting money. I just wanted to work my job and just do the time that I had until it was time to elevate myself. But at that time, I really wish I would have been better solidifying certain parts of my foundation with my standards early on. I still did learn them a little bit sooner than most people, but I wish I would have learned them a little bit earlier had I known then what I know now. So your standards, okay, you build those things on what is going to be, again, first identifying what you want and who you want to be. And you got to know how would this person live their life. That's why it's important. That's a question for your mentor. Book a call with me. This is something that I can help you. I got to be able to identify your life right on and give you a better answer with this, but setting these boundaries, like I said, for myself, I had to think, okay, what do I want to do? At the time, I just started when I was at that age, I knew I wanted to make some sort of passive income. Okay, I wanted to make easy money because I knew I was going to be doing other things. I was going to be in school, but I also wanted to work and have multiple streams of income. So that was the biggest thing. Multiple streams of income, passive income, residual income, things like that. Income. That was my basis. Okay, and I also wanted to learn how to start running and understanding business. sales. So I started putting myself in these environments. So the standards that I would set for myself, well, what does it take to get these things? I'm listening to these different mentors. Well, that's number one. You got to have mentorship. Okay, you got to have mentorship. You can't really, to be 100 with y'all, excuse me, to be totally 100 with y'all, man, you really can't set standards for yourself without having a mentor. Okay, somebody that can identify your life and see this is what you need to be focusing on and this is what you need to cut off. So that was the first thing, get mentorship. Then once I had the mentorship, then it started being little things like you need to read books, get on trainings. Okay, so I'm setting standards for myself. How much time am I willing to study up on the craft, into the business? 2, 3, 4 hours a day, whatever. So that was a standard for myself. Willing to learn. Okay, because we're going to work, and most people, once we get out of school, we stop learning. That's why most people, man, if we being real, they don't have more. Majority of people, man, that are out here can't read past eighth grade level education. So, and definitely by the time they get out of high school, how much reading are you really doing if you don't go to college? So you have to keep developing yourself. So I'm spending, all right, bet 3-4 hours out of the day, I need to be making sure I'm listening to these podcasts, listening to these training calls, getting this information so that I'm learning and exercising my brain. All right. After that, make sure that I may be reading up on my books. I'm getting into a little bit more foundation training. I'm taking the education level a deeper step. All right, bet I need to be making phone calls. Not only do I need to be reading the information, but I need to be going through these experiences, seeing what it's like to be in sales, being told no 101 times, and then somebody finally telling me yes. Seeing what it's like to make your pitch real quick on a 30-second elevator. You know what I'm saying? Like, I had to go to these trainings, go to conferences, network with people, get uncomfortable. You start setting standards for yourself. You start knowing you need to be uncomfortable in order for you to grow. That's a standard for yourself. That's not just something you do on a day-to-day basis. That's a standard you have for yourself. Waking up, making sure I make my bed every day. That's a standard I set for myself, because high level thinkers and successful individuals, they all make their beds. They all will work out. They exercise. They're all fit. You don't see too many that are overweight and unhealthy. They put a lot of, come on. That's how you set standards for yourself. Identifying what would the highest version of myself, what would they be doing, what would they be eating, drinking. You set standards for yourself. The kind of women you want to deal with, you set standards for yourself. You got guys that don't like loudmouth women or something like that. You set standards for yourself. You got friends that smoke and do a lot of drugs. You don't hang with them no more. You got standards for yourself. Everything changes when you change. You have to set new standards for yourself. You start going to these different events and you start woo. You don't, maybe drive the same cars. You set standards for yourself. It's all different, man. When I go out and I'm interacting at these different networking events, I'm making these videos, I'm dressing different. It's a standard for myself. I don't put on the jeans, the same jeans I used to wear in a graphic tee. I love graphic tees, but I don't put on graphic tees no more to take videos. It's a standard I got for myself. I don't go a month or two without no haircut, without trimming my beard. There's a standard for myself. What is your standard? You have to be willing to live and stand on something. You gotta have principles. You gotta have standards. You gotta meet. Something has to meet. When people come into your life, they can't just intrude on your life and do what they want to do. When your homeboy or you meet a new friend, you don't just allow people to come over to your house and just walk into your house. Like, no, there's a standard. You can't just be pulling up over here. We meet somewhere. You let me know that you want to come by. You don't just pull up. Like, there are standards, man. People come into your life, they got to know that you have standards so that they don't try to overstep and overcross those boundaries and those standards, man. Set those things for yourself and live and move by these things, and people will see naturally that is a man that appreciates himself and cares about himself in the way that he moves, in his self-image and everything that he does and that he says he's about, because he sets standards for himself. He's not just going to be out here doing a bunch of careless things. He's not somebody that if we do business together, I'm afraid he's going to cross me. No, because he sets standards for himself. If he says he's going to reach out to me and do something, he's going to do it. He stands on his word. He has standards for himself. Come on, man. That's what's important, man. It starts with the mentorship, man. Knowing how to identify yourself within these things. I recommend 2 things right now, man. 1, getting my mentorship, booking a call with me, man. It's free. 45 minutes. We can have a conversation and go over everything about your life, man, and really get into the depths of it. And I can pinpoint everything. Play this video back. Play this video back, man. We talk about how to set your standards, how to identify when you're getting in your comfort zone, how to build and put pressure on yourself so that you can test yourself and sharpen your skills, test your skills, all those kind of things, man. We can get into it, man. We can even get you into the hustle movement, man, into the hustle chat. Reach out, man. All the stuff will be in the description down below. But definitely, like I said, 2 things, man. Book this call, book a call of consultation, man, and get with the mentorship. Second thing, get my product. All right, successful habits, man. The Successor blueprint, the hustle blueprint. Okay, get that. That's a great starting foundation, man. It'll help you open up that sixth sense, that third eye. You know, a lot of us, man. I started somebody the other day, and she had said something to me, and I'm like, you got a clairvoyance about yourself. She's like, what does that mean? And so if you don't know what clairvoyant means, we all need to look it up. But we all should have a sense of clairvoyance about ourselves at the very least. You should be able to know these things. You should be able to identify and be aware before somebody else does. Keep working on yourself. This is the first step, man. So if you like what you're hearing, man, comment down below. Please share the video, man. Likes and shares, man. Get us out there. Like I said, we got to keep the lights on some kind of way, man. We got I'm out here, man, making big moves, big power plays. Springtime is coming, so you're gonna be a lot more content. Just probably getting back to my other ways where I was doing still videos like this, don't get me wrong, but on the move a little bit more, man. Catch me out and about, man. Maybe fellowshipping with some of the people as well too. A lot more events, festivals going to be coming up as well, so be on the tune for that. The second and third product, those are in the works, so be in the tune for that as well too. Still working on the merchandise and just a ton of stuff. I'm not just capping. Look, what did I say earlier? If I say something, I got to do it. So I'm saying it to y'all, man, so y'all can hold me accountable. Hold me accountable, man, the same way that I will hold y'all accountable if we were working together and doing business together, man. I will help you identify those things, man, and tell you stay on top of your game. So help me stay on top of my game, man. And lastly, please subscribe, man. We're on the road to 100 subscribers. It's going to take time, but I'm willing to, man, if it's just 100 solid people that's rocking with me, I appreciate that, man. I'll cherish that, and I'll give my hardest 110% every single time, man. So look, appreciate y'all tuning in to the Hustle Talk today, man. Look, remember, it's not a podcast, but it's a TV show. I'll let your boy, man, Successor. We out.